Welcome everybody to a new episode from our pilot season, a break from the daily grind. This episode is brought to you today by J-Man's live DJ service. J-Man's passion is to make your event unforgettable. Check him out at djmanlive.com. That's djmanlive.com. And tell him Ben and Corey sent you. And just in case you didn't know, my name is Ben, and my co-host across the table is Corey.
Hey.
Corey, how's your week been?
My week was so busy. No, I'm doing good. You know, vacation is supposed to refresh you, but it really didn't for me. There was so much that I had to do. I went to like 3 different Thanksgiving things, and then I had that concert and stuff, which was awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, I went to see Steel Panther. So good. It was hilarious.
Right.
It was like a comedy show and a metal concert
All
at the
wrapped
same
up
time.
into
Yeah. It was hilarious. Oh, it was good, and we got some bomb seats too.
Did you?
Yeah, right front row on the balcony. That stuff too. Yeah.
Oh, the second level.
Yeah, second level.
Yep.
Next time I want to get some mosh pit spots.
One year I went, speaking of concerts, I went to Ozfest.
Ozfest.
I went to Ozfest. Of course, Ozzy was there. Pantera was there. Godsmack was there. And there was a couple other.
There's some good ones.
Yeah. No, you can have that mosh pit shit. No thank you.
It wasn't like a mosh pit,
Right.
you know. It was just the spot where you stand on the ground.
That was we stood up. It was an outdoor event. We stood up along the back fence, and you could see over the whole crowd.
Yeah.
No, thank you. It literally, the mosh pits were going. There was 3 of them right down center stage.
Yeah.
Or right down in front of the stage, and it literally looked like black holes spinning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Why in God's green creation would you want to be in that hell down there?
I think, because I remember you mentioning Pantera. Didn't something happen there?
Dude.
Didn't you get like caught in one or
No,
something?
I didn't get caught in a mosh pit. That was during the day. They were walking around, and we were all trying to file in for the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And it was just like, of course, if you've ever been to Ozfest, it's a massive event, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was trying. The guys that were there, I'm presuming they were Pantera fans. I don't know, just because they look like, they literally were pushing people trying to get to the concert event.
Yeah.
And they were literally pushing and walking people over. They were walking over people just because they thought that everyone should get out of their way.
What an asshole.
Well, and there's always somebody at those events. And that's why I don't really do concerts much anymore.
Yeah.
I always seem to bump into the asshole that wants to start a fight.
I don't mind. I like more medium size, I don't see big events like that being super fun.
Hey, it was all right. I mean, it was cool. But
Yeah.
I'd never been one to that size, so. Anyway, how about we get into today's continued discussion on video and board games. But first, we'd like to start out with a few bad dad jokes. Are you ready, Corey?
No.
No? That's too bad.
No, it's not the only thing that's going to be bad.
All right. Who grants fishes wishes?
Who grants fishes wishes? I don't know who.
A fairy cod mother.
Oh, wait. You've probably heard this one. This is not really a dad joke.
Gotta go.
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
I would call that a dad joke.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you call a beehive with no exit?
What?
Unbelievable.
That one's dumb.
You get a kick out of this one.
Okay.
All right. What did Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife?
I don't know what.
Nothing. He was a gladiator.
Okay, that one was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I like that one.
Okay.
That one had some thought put into it.
Yeah. So, okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's continue with the topic: video and board games that we enjoy. So, We talked a few last time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember them, so I'm not going to bring them up. Throw a few in there.
No, you go first. I stopped. I was the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I remember mentioning one time about a video game way back, right? That I used to like playing.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
It's called Gran Turismo.
Oh.
For PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a 1997 racing simulating video game that was developed and published by Sony Computers for the PlayStation. It was the first game in that series because there was a bunch of them, right?
I remember seeing them on like PlayStation 3 and 4 and stuff like that. You know, I think they're still making them, to be honest.
I believe the research that I was looking at, I think they quit making them. They had a long run, right?
Yeah.
And the first one is what spun all those to come out later. It took 5 years to develop that game, and it was well received both commercially and critically, shipping a total of 10.8 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling PlayStation game at the time. All right, and the scoring for the average rankings for that game was at 95%.
Oh wow,
which was pretty impressive, making it the highest-rated video game, a racing video game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Since it closed, there's the number, in 2019.
Oh, okay, so they pretty recently.
Yep, they quit making them. They made them all up to 2019.
Okay.
It was deemed the greatest game of all time for that series.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there was 10 sequels or spin-offs to that particular game. I don't remember much of the gameplay because, that was, way back for 90, 99, 2000, somewhere around there is when I had it. I do remember that me and my roommate used to play the shit out of that game, right?
Really?
Played it all the time. And at one point, we got to a point that we finally wanted to be the best in that game. So we decided to work together instead of doing two different cars, or two different accounts, or playing at two different things. We decided to work together and do a game bender, right? So we started on a Friday, early afternoon, because at the time I was working midnights.
Yeah.
He was working days. So I got off at like 8 a.m. I went, caught a nap, got up on Friday at midday or early afternoon, and that console didn't stop. We didn't shut that console off until Sunday night, right? We took turns running the same car until it was completely unstoppable. I couldn't remember the name of the car until while I was doing some thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it was a Mitsubishi Talon was the car that we used. It had like 1,200 horsepower, and the sucker was all-wheel drive. Anything in that game that would go on that car, we got on that car. There was cars like drag race cars that had like 3,000 horsepower, like funny cars.
Yeah.
We'd smoke them. I'd just smoke them every time. So we literally had the fastest car in the game that we could figure out. I mean, maybe somebody got a faster one, but that was weight ratio for the car and the horsepower. It was unmatched. And once we got that car dialed up, none of the events that you had to do were any fun, because literally we'd smoke everything. That was something else. So,
man, you just reminded me of a game that I haven't thought about in a really long time. It is called Burnout 2.
Okay.
And so it was
I remember the title.
It was also a racing game, which was cool. I didn't really do much of the racing part. I think me and Joe, we played a bunch. My old cousin Joe.
Okay, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, you remember him?
Yep.
We played it a bunch because Grandma had the PlayStation 2 at her house, so we'd go over there. And that was one of the games we'd play. And so we'd do the racing a little bit, but we got stuck on one of the races. It was against like a hot rod car or whatever, and we couldn't beat it. But there was another game mode on there that we really liked a lot, where it was like what you did was you would drive the car super fast, and you would crash into other vehicles and try to make as much damage as possible. And it would add up the total like collision damage to all the vehicles that you messed up. Everything. So you could, like, there would be all these different kinds of strategies. Like, you would hit the semi truck that's moving like 60 miles down the highway and then cause it to like top spin so that like a bunch of cars just keep running into it over and over.
Final destination move.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, we probably killed a lot of virtual drivers. But we did make a lot of money in damages, so I'd say it was a win.
So basically, you guys were the insurance agents, and you were collecting money on the claims.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they used that to simulate how much the claims were actually going to be at the insurance agency.
No wonder my insurance is so damn high.
Damn you, Burnout. That one was a lot. Me and Mom played that one a lot too. That was one of the ones she liked to play with us.
I don't remember playing that one at all.
No, that one was on PlayStation 2. Okay. I think. Yeah, but I remember that. That was a lot of fun. Me and my dad actually played that one.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. He would always beat the levels that I'd get stuck on. But when he was at work, he couldn't do it, so I'd just lose over and over again.
Just lose over and over again. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So speaking of those kind of games, it reminded me of another one that I used to play. I didn't play it a lot. I mean, when I first got it, I played the crap out of it. But
yeah. I know you were a lot bigger fan of racing games
on a console. I loved racing games on a console. 3D shooter games, I preferred on PC format.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hands down. But this was before my PC days.
Mm-hmm.
So, because originally I had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
The very first, they call it PlayStation X or something. I don't know. It was the very first one. The other one that I used to play on that platform a lot was Road Rash.
Road Rash.
Right? So it was released in '94 on all kinds of platforms, such as Sega CD, PlayStation, obviously, Sega Saturn. And I guess they had it for Windows, too, Microsoft Windows, but I never saw it for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point in time, I wasn't into PCs, so I wouldn't have seen it anyway. It had a bunch of characters that you could choose from, different bikes that you could choose from. You could do certain things to your bikes that would help you do stuff. Like you could grow other drivers, and it was just kind of cool. So it had some real places in it. Most of them were all California locations. The city, the peninsula, the Pacific Coast Highway, Sierra Nevada, and Napa Valley. They were all real roads that this game was based off of. So it was a motorcycle racing game by Electronic Arts, which a player participates in violent illegal racing. Yeah, that was all me, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
I couldn't afford to do it in real life, so we did it on the video game. But yeah, it had 6 games in total from 91 to 2000.
Mm-hmm.
All of them alternate versions of the other ones. And as a total, it sold over 3 million units by 98. So it was a pretty popular game. I don't really remember a lot about it. I do remember when you started it up, it said, warning, serious flashes of lights can cause epileptic seizures.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those first games that had a lot of repetitive blinking in it. And so they put a warning right up just as you started. But like I said, I don't really remember too much about the gameplay. You're on a motorcycle and you could get chains, and usually you would kick them with your fists, knock people over. And sometimes you get a chain or a club or something and swing at them, knock them off. But every once in a while, something would run out in front of you. You would catch it, and down the road you'd go. The only thing that I primarily remember from that is I would listen to the licensed grunge music
Oh, really?
From A&M Records. I would listen to their soundtracks. Soundgarden.
Yeah. Oh, I love Soundgarden.
I wasn't much of a grunge listener before that, so I'm not sure if this game actually gave them their break, because they had Soundgarden, Monster Magnet, and Swerve Driver, and I don't remember the other one. I never heard the other ones.
I only know Soundgarden.
So I'm gonna bet that Soundgarden kind of got their start a little bit, their notoriety from that video game.
When did it come out?
91 to 2000.
Yeah, it's possible.
So it's right there at the start. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I just remember. I remember listening to Rusty Cage over and over and over and over.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I love
it was
Rusty
on there.
Cage. Really?
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
You know, a game I was thinking of that I know you and me both played a lot was Uncharted 2. Do you remember that one?
I played it a little bit. That was several years after my Road Rash days.
Yeah, you and me and John played it a lot.
Yeah. I believe I got it because I was laid up on a surgery.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a vasectomy. Yeah. That's what...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it then. I was going to be stuck in bed for 4 days.
The snip and clip.
Yeah, the snip and... So, yeah, I was going to be stuck in bed for 4 days, so I played the shit out of it for that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I liked the, you yell at us for playing online with it. Because you're like, no. Because I think you thought there was, like, voice, like you could talk to people on there. But I don't think there was. You could just, like...
It was more of a security thing. You guys,
yeah.
At that age, I don't care who you are. I don't think at that age you deserve to be online anyway.
That's fair.
I mean, at that, you were what, 9?
No. I was like 13.
10, yeah.
12, 13. Right. It was when we were at the old house.
Well, yeah, because we were there for like 15 years.
Yeah,
but, yeah, I think you might have been a little younger than that. Cause
you might be right.
Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah, matter of fact, I know it was because I met your mom when you were 8.
I'd say 11, probably.
10 right 11, around there, give or take 2 years. Yeah, so it was probably between 9 and 11, somewhere around there. I don't see any reason for anybody that age to be online. Nowadays, it's even worse than it was back then.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Which is a whole nother episode all in itself. But yeah, I didn't see any need for you guys to be online playing with that stuff online.
I loved that game. I like the story in that game. They ended up coming out with 2 more after that one.
Yep. Not only video games, but the movies too.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, but I heard it was pretty good.
I saw the first one.
Yeah. I think there's only one out right now.
No, I think there's another one.
Is there another one coming out?
I think there is.
Oh, cool.
Which would be the sequel, but you know how sequels roll.
Yeah.
They ain't never as good as the first one. But yeah, I watched the first one, and it was pretty good. I'm not gonna say it followed the video game very well, because I don't remember all of it, because that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty good movie.
Nice.
I wouldn't have no problem watching it again.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah. So that was cool. What was your next one?
Man, I was thinking. Give me a second to think about it. I literally had it. I was really excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple first-person shooters while you're thinking that I used to play too. You and John used to go apeshit over, but I can't remember what it was called.
Talking about Black Ops, Call of Duty.
No,
Black
it wasn't.
Because that was one of them. We played.
Yeah, you played a lot of that one, but that's not what it was. I also had it about the same time I got Uncharted, and it was about 2 military operatives, and they had bulletproof helmets. And I cannot for the life of me remember what the name of that game was. We used to play the crap out of that one too. I'm not going to think of it because I want to think of it.
I know. Oh, I know what it is. I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've only heard good things about it. I
Yeah.
heard it has a really good story. It's like someone described it. I liked it. They're like cowboy Skyrim.
Cowboy Skyrim.
Yeah. And so essentially, from what I've gathered from the hour that I played, I haven't really gotten a chance to really just like get invested in it. You play as this guy. Arthur Morgan.
Okay.
And so Arthur Morgan's in this this outlaw gang. And so the game said it was taking place during like the end of the golden age of like outlaws and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like the West is currently being tamed and America's now becoming a land of laws and stuff. It takes place in 1899.
Okay.
And so I think it goes up to 1907. But essentially what I gathered is you're like this outlaw gang that's currently on the run from the law. And so you're hiding out and you get caught in this huge snowstorm trying to get away. But apparently you were set up, and so you didn't like get away with what you're supposed to. But it's really cool. I feel like a badass with my revolver, just taking out people
right.
and stuff. It's cool. You get on your horse, you ride around and everything. But I'm excited because right now I'm still in the tutorial area, the beginning. Yeah. But once you get out, apparently the world like opens up and you can kind of do whatever you want and stuff. I remember the first game specifically. You like, I don't know if it was you meet the devil or death, but it's insinuated that you meet like the devil.
Okay.
And stuff. And so he like pops up and you like talk with him and he like talks about your demise and everything like that. I thought that was kind of cool. But I'm really excited to get into that one.
Right.
I've been playing it for an hour and
that's not necessarily a new one either. That's been around forever.
It's been out for...
You had that one there as a kid.
I did not. Well, I had the first one as a kid.
Yeah.
Yep. The second one came out October 26, 2018. So it's been out for about 6 years now. Logan bought it for me because it was on sale for like $20.
Nice.
And he's like the beginning's slow, so don't fret if you're not. I'm playing through the beginning. I'm like, this is awesome. What are you talking about? Slow. This is slow right here. I can't imagine what the rest of the game's gonna be like. So yeah, I've been playing that. That's been a lot of fun.
Right.
I'm looking forward to really getting into it. I plan on updating.
Updating that one?
Yeah, when I get further on it, because that's like, I've heard people say it's a cornerstone game. You have to play it, for a game that you like want to get invested in. Yeah. So like it's like how movies, there's cult classics. You think of a cult classic, you think of like Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
That's what I mean when I say like a cornerstone game. It's like if you're gonna start getting into playing games, it's one of those like must play games.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Another one's The Last of Us. That one's a really good one too.
No, that one I've never heard of.
You never heard of that one?
No.
Now that one takes place. They actually made a movie, or not a movie, a show based off the video game. That one's really cool. So that one takes place. It's like an apocalypse happens. This you ever heard of the mushroom cordyceps before? No. It's like the fungus that in ants, it like puppeteers them. It like plants itself in their brain and can puppeteer their body into
That's creepy.
Yeah, but essentially it can't survive in humans. I think we actually use it for certain medications and stuff too. But in this universe, it adapts and it evolves to where it can take humans as hosts. And so over the course, like at time skips, you're at the beginning of the game, you're like right when the outbreak happens and when it's really kicking off and stuff. And what it does is the first signs is humans just go crazy. Like you turn into like apes, almost like animals. Like you have these animalistic tendencies. You like rush at people. You're like vicious, and you Very scary. Like it's like a zombie, but like with fast speed and dexterity.
It's like that sucker rolled a high number on its dice.
Yeah, exactly. And so essentially the game is following this character named Joel, and he gets tasked with taking this girl that is immune to it to California to like figure out a cure for the cordyceps outbreak and stuff. And so going through it, you deal with those like cordyceps, like fungal zombie mushroom creatures, and then also obviously because some would say humans are more dangerous in apocalypse situations, you also deal with other humans too along the way. And so it's a really good, like, heartwarming but also really depressing story game too. So that one I really enjoyed that one a lot too. That's sort of like a really rough, doesn't do it justice explanation, but yeah, I highly recommend that one. Even if you haven't played the game, I recommend checking out the show at least. It's one season right now. I think it's only 8 episodes. It's 8 or 10 episodes.
Oh, okay. So it just started.
Yeah. But you can, I think it's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Or I think maybe it's on. No, I think I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a really good one though too.
Okay, so do you have any other video games there?
Do I?
Yeah. That you want to talk about that you like?
Man, the other one that's kind of Gears of War.
Yeah, you used to play the shit out of that one.
I used to, yeah. No, that's like not even sugarcoating it.
No.
No, I think that was probably my most played Xbox game, to be honest with you.
Yep.
I played the second one a lot because they had this mode in it called the Horde mode.
Yeah, I remember it.
And so you just go through, I think it's 50 waves, and you see how long you can survive. Without dying.
And each wave got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and the enemies got stronger.
Yep.
And the AI got smarter and stuff.
I remember the hunters or something that had the long trench coats that used to jump around.
Oh, yeah.
Those things were a pain in the wazoo to get.
Yeah, I remember, those guys. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They weren't the hardest, but I remember those.
But they jump out of the way and like dodge everything. They're like really tall and stuff. Yeah.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah, and they could revive the enemies that you like.
Yep. Those are the ones that you always had to go out and you're like, we gotta go for those first.
Kill those guys. That one, that was a lot of memories too.
Yeah.
My cousin Joe, he introduced me to that one.
Yep.
I went over to his place, and he had it, because I think I was staying there for the weekend. He's like, you got to check out this sick game. Like, I remember what really got me was the gun in it that you could chainsaw people in half with. Yeah, he's like, check this out. Whoa, holy shit. That's awesome. So, and the Horde mode was like multiplayer, so you could I think you could do up to 4 people.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, because I had to have because that's when I got my Xbox.
Yeah.
So we could play that game together.
Yep.
Because you had to have 2 games.
Yeah.
No, you could play split screen.
You could do
harder.
split screen, and then if you had another Xbox, then you could do 4 players.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think you did that because then me, you, and John.
Yeah.
I think even Kay played a little bit with us. I think she just got in
she was not old. She wasn't really.
Well,
she was still kind of young.
She was, but we turned off like the gore and stuff. You could like turn off the gore and everything. And
she was our bait.
Yeah.
Go over there.
Go over there. Get them in the right position really quick.
Saw them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
That one was a lot of fun. Man, we need to just like play sometime. Not that per se, just like some games in general. I think it would be fun, even if it was just for like an hour, or like a few hours, like once a week or something like that. That would be cool.
My skill set doesn't do very good on video games anymore.
Clearly, you haven't seen Andrew play.
He's from across the pond. All his controls are backwards. But Yeah, I'm to that point that it's hard for me to play those video games anymore. I don't have the hand-eye coordination that I used to have.
That's why you find a game that doesn't necessarily require swift hand-eye coordination.
Swift skill.
Yeah. One I do want to. Like I said, I want to bring like my Steam Deck over or something, or like put it on this laptop and like project it onto the TV screen.
Yeah.
And have you play through it. Is Detroit Become Human?
Yeah, you'd said something. I remember that. Yeah. Our last few episodes.
So good. It's not even like playing a game. It's like watching a movie, and you get to make the decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Cool. So is that your last one?
That's that I can think of.
Yeah.
That like
I mean, there's obviously tons and tons of games.
Yeah. Like I could go on like even digging deep like old Nintendo games that I loved and stuff. Like Castlevania or Zelda: Link to the Past, or just there's all sorts of stuff.
I could go all the way back to Nintendo, the first Nintendo, with obviously all the Marios,
Duck Hunt,
and all those. But there was also some off-brand ones that most people didn't hear about. There was one called I think it was called Silent Running.
What the heck?
It was actually a submarine game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you were a submarine. And it was kind of screwy. It was actually a 2-player game. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be 2 people. One person ran the sub, and the other person ran the periscope, and would do some other stuff too. But you could do it by yourself. So I used to play it by myself. So I'd control the sub, put that controller down, pick the other one up, and run the periscope, and then reach over there and hit the few buttons and turn the sub. And that's what you did. You blew up enemy ships, enemy submarines or whatever. So that one's kind of a cool one. Most people never heard of that one. There was also another one that was kind of obscure. True diehard video gamers from that era would know it. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember the name of it, but you had to have a robot. So you had a robot that would watch the TV, and your controller would control the character, and then the robot, you would hit a button and it would control the robot. So the robot had 2 spinner tops.
Yeah.
And the other controller slid into his base, and the robot would pick up these spinning tops, and put it on a table, and that table would hold the button down.
Yeah.
Right? So your character could go through trap doors. It opened up doors and stuff in the game. But the doors in the game were controlled by the robot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was cool. I had it for a while.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the name. Like I said,
no, I think that it was the robot, because you had the little robot, right? Yep. Yeah, I think it was Rob.
Yeah, that was the name of the robot's name.
Robot. But it can't, like you said, it came with a game.
Yeah, I don't remember the game.
Yeah, I don't remember. That's like really rare nowadays. It's like highly valued. It's like a collectible.
I wish I had it. I remember probably 15, 20 years ago, a friend of mine, his uncle was a collector of sorts.
Yeah.
And he said he had one, and I forget what he told me it was worth back then. And I was like, man, I wish I think I sold it at a garage sale for like $5 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And because I can't remember, there was something, the robot was kind of flaky at best.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember if it was because it was kind of a game ahead of its time, or if it was because it was just old and wore out, because I got it secondhand from somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I played it quite often. But it was one of those. It was kind of a slow game because you had to control the robot.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's just easier if I just reach over and push the button.
So I think it's funny that you say that, because a lot of people had the same thing where it was like I think it's like what you said, where it's just ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I don't think games were ready for that type
Neither
of thing.
Were the players.
Yeah. And so, like you said, it was like, well, it's just easier to reach over and stuff.
I did,
and
yeah.
That game that came with it and stuff, that's the only way you could get it, was
right.
like it only came with the robot.
Yep.
And it also kind of I don't know if they even made any more games for the robot. I think it was just the
That
one
was the
game.
only game.
Yeah. And so now it's like really sought after because they never sold it separately. It was
Right.
either you buy the robot and get the game. You couldn't just like buy the game.
No, because
You needed the robot.
Right, the gameplay was extremely boring, right?
Yeah.
You controlled the character to run across a screen, but you had to use the controller to control the robot,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time it transitioned to pick up the top and put it on the pad, right? Because you had to control it to open its hands
Yeah.
and run its arms up and down. By the time you did all that, it was just easier just to push the button. I just hold the button and just run through there and let go of the button, keep around playing.
Done.
Yeah, it literally a fraction of the time just to push the button than it was to operate the robot. But like you said, that's what makes that thing so rare. And I had one, and I really wish.
That's crazy.
Really wish I'd have still had that one, because I'd be like, I don't have to work no more. Nope, my dumb butt decided to sell it at a garage sale for nickels on the dollar or something.
Was that for Nintendo? Like
That
the
was
original
for,
Nintendo?
Yeah, NES. That was for original Nintendo. Yep.
I'm gonna look up. I'm curious. Oh wow, someone's selling one right now. I think it's still in box. I don't think it's mint condition though. For $868.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Yep. Oh, here's 1985 Nintendo Rob Robot, serviced and tested, complete, $600
Holy.
used.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same one.
It was called ROB.
ROB.
Rob, Robotic Operating Buddy.
Wow, this one's going for $1,500. And that's with like the whole set. That's like Nintendo and like the Zapper gun. And that's like everything.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
ROB. It was the key to the Nintendo's launch in 1985
Really?
as a redesign from the Family Computer Robot, which was launched in July of 85 in Japan.
Oh, I think that's Famicom.
That would have been... Yep, Famicom.
Yeah.
Its short lifespan yielded only 2 games in the robot series. Gyromite, that was the name of the game. Gyromite,
Was it?
Yep.
Okay.
And Stack Up.
Stack Up.
Yep.
Gyromite.
Gyromite was the name of the game I had. Yep.
I think I watched this guy, pretty popular on YouTube. A lot of people. He's like an OG YouTuber called Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah.
And he actually has one.
Yeah.
And he like demonstrated it and stuff. And he was like showing how ass it was and how terrible it was.
Horrible.
I thought that was funny, but that's why I know about it. That's crazy though that you had one of those.
I had one of those.
That's
yep.
insane.
I could have been $600 richer right now.
Holy cow.
Actually, I figured it would have cost more than that, but
Still though, like originally it was probably what, like maybe 100 or something.
I don't even think it said
$49.99.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, video games back then were pretty cheap. I mean, they were expensive for the time, but compared to days, you're going to spend $50 on a video game regardless of what it is now. Back then they were like $20, and it was like, man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That one there was, like you said, $50. It was way higher than most, but you got this cool little robot.
Yeah, so it had a little gimmick.
Yeah, that would make you want to shoot it. So, all right. Well, that's.
I got one more actually.
Okay, go.
I'll just read the synopsis for it.
Okay.
Because I thought it was cool. I never actually played it.
Yeah.
But I watched someone else play it. It was creepy. It's like analog horror.
Okay. It's not Phantasmagoria, is it?
No, no. It's called Iron Lung. And so set entirely within a claustrophobic one-man submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung, you must blindingly navigate an ocean of blood to take photographs of key locations and hope whatever lives below doesn't find you. there is only a single porthole on the sub, and it needs to be closed due to depth pressure. So you have to navigate purely via an incomplete map, proximity sensors, sound, and a primitive external camera, which can be used to take the pictures you need to complete your mission, or to get a grainy, low-resolution visual of what's happening outside. Success will require resourcefulness and patience. So the story is, decades ago, every known star and habitable planet mysteriously vanished along with whatever and whoever happened to be on them, leaving behind an empty universe of asteroids and lifeless moons where the only remnants of humanity are those who were on space stations or starships at the time, with supplies gradually dwindling and infrastructure falling into disrepair. The survivors have spent a subsequent years frantically searching for any trace of remaining natural resources. Up until now, they have been unsuccessful. Then a mysterious anomaly known as a blood ocean, which is exactly what it sounds like, was discovered on an otherwise barren moon. It's not the first blood ocean found since the vanishing, but initial scans show a collection of potentially useful anomalous locations in a deep undersea trench that requires further investigation. And you're the unlucky sap who gets to investigate in an aging submarine cobbled together from rusty space station parts.
Yeah, that's what nightmares are made of right there.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about scary games. I'll go even farther back. I said that. I hope you're not going to say Phantasmagoria, because that was actually a video game.
Is that like?
It was a DOS format game.
Yeah.
Windows 95, right? It was my buddy had it, and it was like a 5-disc set, and you had to run it through DOS.
Yeah.
And I remember he had a laptop.
See those,
which was like unheard of, right, for that age, for that year, and he had that game, and I remember he used to play it, and I used to sit there and watch him play it.
Yeah,
that sucker made me shit my pants more times than I can ever count.
There's something
creepy,
so unsettling and uncanny about those types of games, and that's this game that I was just reading off to you is right. like takes inspiration from those games. Like I think it was released really recently, 2022, but it has the graphics and like the appeal of something from Phantasmagoria,
right?
And so
back then it was like 4 pixel.
Yeah, no, like when you're looking through your porthole and stuff, like that's the type of things that'll pop up. Like exactly the same type of graphics types.
Grainy, blocky.
Yeah, grainy, and there's somehow it's more unsettling than like a full resolution, terrifying, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's creepy. Creepy. So I know about this time we changed gears and went to board games.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that again today. Last time we talked, we covered the top 10 of the best-selling games of all time. I figure this week I'll give you the rest of that list.
Yeah.
Which would be number 11, Game of Life.
Really?
Yep. 50 million plus. Sold. Introed in 1960.
We played that a few times.
Yes, we did. Played that. As a matter of fact, me and the kids just played that just yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
so
nice.
we have
I didn't know you had that one.
Yeah, we have that one.
Cool.
Number 12, Othello. Never heard of it. No. 40 million plus, and that one was introduced, it said in 1883. So that's kind of an old one, you know. Pictionary, 38 million plus, introed in 1985. Matter of fact, we just played that one for at Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving at brother-in-law's.
Yeah.
And so he put it up on his TV, and we played that one this weekend.
That's awesome.
So, yep. 15, we talked about this one last time, Risk.
Risk. I love Risk.
Yep. This one here, I've never heard of this one either. Is Stratego?
Oh,
Stratego. I don't know.
hold on.
I'm pronouncing that wrong.
I'm gonna look it up. If it
Stratego. Stratego.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this one before.
Yeah,
I've never played it, but
no. 20 million plus copies sold. It came out in 1961. This is another one that we have, and you and I know we've played it. Matter of fact, I just taught the girls how to play it this last week, and they've been playing the crap out of it. Mancala.
Oh, Mancala's fun. Yep. Yeah.
Mancala. It only sold 18 million plus.
Really?
Yep. But it was introduced in 1400 BC.
Yeah, it has the name of something introduced in 1400 BC.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very simple game to play, but it is entertaining for hours on a time.
It is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Number 18, Connect 4. Connect 4, which we had when you guys were young.
That one's ruthless.
Yeah,
that one's
it can
brutal.
Be. Yep.
Cutthroat.
Oh, yeah. I seen a different version just recently on my feed. It's actually a 3D print one.
Yeah.
And they're not the round saucers. They're a ball shape, a twisted ball shape.
Yeah.
So you drop it in there and it corkscrews to the bottom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. So Connect 4, only 4 million plus sold. It was introduced in 1974. Number 19 I've never heard of. Blockus. Yep. Only 3 million plus sold, and that came out in the year 2000. So that's probably the reason why I never heard about it.
I've seen this one before. They had this one in school.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I was in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never played it though?
I never played it.
No.
I didn't really know how to.
Right.
And no one ever wanted to.
Right, nobody probably knew how to play it.
Yeah, probably no one wanted to learn. By the time you figured it out, recess was over.
Right. Right. So the last one on this list, the top 20, was Cranium.
Cranium.
Yep. Cranium. Only 1 million plus copies sold as of 2001. The total number of units was unknown. They didn't know how many they sold. It came out in 1998.
Oh wow.
Yep. These numbers were found on www.fun.com, and so that's where all these numbers came from. So I found that list on fun.com.
Yeah.
Right. So and they had some other facts there too, but I didn't write that stuff down. I found another list that you might like. It's the top 18 of most popular games.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with sales or when it was introduced. I don't think this list is any particular order.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Candyland, which we've talked about.
Yeah, I love Candyland.
Number 2, Risk, which we also talked about. Matter of fact, there's a lot of repeats in here too. 3, The Game of Life. 4, that Stratego. That's that 2-person. It says 2-person game with military elements. Battleship.
Yeah.
Yep, we had that one.
Yep.
Sequence.
Oh, I love Sequence.
Still have it and still play it.
Yeah, right. That one's great.
Yep. That one come out in 82.
We should have played that one.
Yeah, we have it.
Last time when I was over.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize you had it.
Yep. Matter of fact, it's the same copy when you were a kid.
Nice.
Yeah. Boulder Dash. Balder Dash. 7, Boulder Dash. 8, Pictionary. We already talked about those. 9, Jenga. That's the block game.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
I have that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got, actually up at the bar, they have Giant Jenga.
We have Giant Jenga as well.
Yeah, that's right. We'd take that camping with us.
This one we just recently got.
Well, we had one that we would take camping with us.
The small version.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 10, Taboo.
Taboo.
It's like a word guessing game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Too smart for me.
That came out in 95. Catan. Or sometimes it's also known as the Settlers of Catan.
Yeah. I seen it. I've always wanted to play that one.
Yep.
But it's one of those lot of reading instructions and stuff, and I can't find anybody who wants to play it.
It actually made the top 20 in the list that we were just talking about as well. So that one's there. Apples to Apples. That one is like a modern version of Cranium or Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah.
Which Trivial Pursuit was on the last list, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, number 7. So a lot of these are repeat. So you got Apples to Apples. Carcinone. I completely said that wrong. That's kind of like a medieval warfare type game.
Okay.
Ticket to Ride. I've played it. It's kind of a neat game. Kind of easy to play. Coming out in 2002. Bananagrams.
I've heard of that one.
You had that one?
Yeah.
It's a wordplay game.
Yeah, I've never played it, but yeah. I've heard of it.
And number 16, Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
We have that one.
Yeah.
We have yet to play it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much for the girls.
We play that one all the time. Me and my friends.
Yeah.
They have a online version
Okay.
that you can play for free, and so you can set a lobby, and that one's funny, especially when half of the people playing it are really drunk.
Yeah.
It gets really goofy, but yeah, that one can be really raunchy.
Yep. So for anybody who's never heard of that game, another game that you may have heard about, it's Apples to Apples is pretty close. The game What Do You Meme, which we also have, and I think I didn't have it in my list, but that's a game that we also have here.
Mm-hmm.
What Do You Meme, and they're all kind of similar, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of neat. And number 17, which is a game that we also have here, I cannot stand, is Exploding Kittens.
I never played that one.
Don't waste your time. It's terrible. I can't stand it.
I think you're just a hater.
That could be. I've been called a hater before. But my taste in board games has recently started to expand.
Yeah.
So I think it's because I can't play video games anymore.
Yeah.
No, that's got nothing to do with it either. But like, there's a couple other games that we play here,
Mm-hmm.
and you and I and your sister and all the kids played it. Tapple, right?
I loved that one.
That's a fairly new one. Right?
I never played it before then. That was a lot of fun.
Right. That one is a fairly new one. That one is released by USAopoly.
Mm-hmm.
Varieties depending on the versions, because there's obviously more than one version. But that game was released in June 2020.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2022. So it's a fairly new game, right? Just recently come out. There's not really any other info on it that I found online for it, except for the release date.
Mm-hmm.
It is a cool game. It's kind of just about anybody can play it, right? But I think I had fun playing it, so I can't speak for you, but I had fun with it.
You know what we got to do at some point? Obviously not any time in the future. I think I brought it up, actually. It'd be cool to project a board game on here.
I can do it.
Yeah, and then do that for like a podcast episode.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Get like 3 others to fill the slots. Do like Monopoly or something, or some other 5-player or more game.
Even you could do a 4-player too.
Yeah, 4-player. Exactly.
Right.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's worth a session or two anyway.
Let us know if you want us to do that.
Right on. One other game that we played that I like, that's also to do with all this stuff that we've been talking about, and I just got you to play it this last weekend too, is Wits and Wagers.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah. So that game was published by North Star Games. The first edition of this game was published in right around 2005, with the second one released a few years later. It's won over 20 awards, including the Mensa Select Award, the Board Game Geek 2007 Party Game of the Year, which I thought was pretty cool. Games Magazine voted it Party of the Year as well, and all rights are reserved to the Mattel games, of course. Mattel has all the good ones. What other board games you got?
Man, so it's not really a board game, but it's on Steam.
Right.
And it's called Tabletop Simulator.
Okay.
And so what it is it's just like an amalgamation of hundreds of different board games. You can download other board games that people have created and play them. You can create your own board game and stuff. It's really cool. If you don't know what to do or you're like having trouble deciding what to do, you try that. Right. It's a lot of fun. If you have a lot of friends online, like I do and stuff, you're like, oh, what should we do? Oh, let's, boot up Tabletop Simulator.
Let's do a board game.
Yeah, let's find a random board game that some guy in Asia created or something and just like play it. You that's got to be chaotic and fun.
Because these rules suck. I don't know. At any rate, is there anything else that you want to talk about while we're talking on this topic, to do with this topic?
No, I think I covered everything pretty much for me related to this topic. Right. Perfect timing.
We can call it a wrap.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. And with that, Corey and I would like to thank you all for staying with us to the end of today's discussion. We hope that you enjoyed this topic of chat and hope that you will join us again next week for a new conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course, we haven't figured out what that is yet, but that makes half the fun, right?
Yeah.
Now we would like to leave you with this thought of the week. In an ideal world, social media should not be defining us as people. We should be defining ourselves by the success in the real world. And that one was by Sherry Turkle.
Cool.
Yeah. And with that, I'd like to see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
All right. Bye.